samsaram buddhitaranadayo mailanget idam bahuspudar atatiratayam yat pratigriha Nityanandam bhajanatarutam nam nirabhadi bala samsarambho nidhiharana kunbodh bhavam aho satam shreya sindhu nati kumuda bandhum samudidam kalashenas budyati mirahara surya prabham aham bhaja Nityanandam Bhajanatarutam nam nirabhadi Natam tanga jantam harinanubadam tam bhatipati Prajantam prashantam swamapi vadayantam janagana Prakurvantam santam sakarunadrigantam prakalana Bhaja Nityanandam bhajanatarutam nam nirabhadi Subhibranam bratu bharasarasidam koman
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
I've started.
Hare Krishna. So we want to welcome everyone who are joining in this evening for our continued observance celebration of Lord Nityananda Trayodasi. So we'll be starting this evening with the chanting of the Ashtakam. There's an Ashtakam that glorifies the personality of Lord Nityananda, and then we'll continue with the evening Gaura Arti.
So we can read the translation. I perpetually worship Sri Nityananda Prabhu, the root of the Krishna Bhakti tree, whose bright face mocks the full autumn moon, whose pure complexion glistens, whose gait is like that of a maddened elephant, who is always intoxicated in Krishna prema, who embodies pure spiritual energy, whose face holds a gentle smile, and whose eyes are always rolling due to his absorption in Krishna prema, whose lotus hand holds a glowing staff, and who, by the performance of Nama Sankirtan, pierces the influence of Kali Yuga. I perpetually worship Lord Sri Nityananda Prabhu, the root of the Krishna Bhakti tree, who is the mainstay of all the rasas, who is everything to his devotees, who is beyond compare, who is the master of both Vasudha and Janava Devi, who consider more dear than their own lives, who is always maddened in Krishna prema, and who is unknown only to those of meager intelligence. So it's interesting that he said Lord Nityananda is the mainstay of all rasas. I perpetually worship Sri Nityananda Prabhu, the root of the Krishna Bhakti tree, who is very dear to Sri Sachinandana, who is worshipped by the entire universe, who is the embodiment of happiness, who possesses infinite mercy for delivering the souls who are drowned in the age of Kali, and who by the performance of Sri Harinam Sankirtan thwarts the progressing false pride of the ocean of repeated birth and death. I perpetually worship Sri Nityananda Prabhu, the root of the Krishna Bhakti tree, who said to Sri Krishna Chaitanya, "Hey, brother Gauranga, what will be the destination of the sinful souls of Kali Yuga, and how will they be redeemed? Please devise a method by which they will easily attain you." I perpetually worship Sri Nityananda Prabhu, the root of the Krishna Bhakti tree, who wandered around Bengal and approaching the door of each and every home, threw his arms and exclaimed, "O brothers, all of you should eternally perform Sri Harinam Sankirtan together. By doing so, I will take the responsibility to deliver all of you from the ocean of material existence." Sri Nityananda Prabhu ki jai. I eternally worship Sri Nityananda Prabhu, the root of the Krishna Bhakti tree, who is the Agastya Muni, who forcibly swallows the ocean of repeated birth and death, who is a rising full moon, who increases the ocean of the saintly person's welfare, and who is a sun who dissipates the darkness of ignorance cast by various classes of miscreants. I eternally worship Sri Nityananda Prabhu, the root of the Krishna Bhakti tree, who wandered on every path in Bengal, dancing, singing, and calling out, "Hari Bol! Hari Bol!" and who lovingly bestowed merciful sidelong glances upon those who were not compassionate to even their own selves. I eternally worship Sri Nityananda Prabhu, the root of the Krishna Bhakti tree, who held the supremely soft lotus hand of his brother Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu, whose heart became filled with the highest bliss when the two brothers gazed into each other's faces, and who wandered here and there, delighting the townspeople with his sweetness. May Sri Nityananda Prabhu place his lotus feet in the heart of one who lovingly recites this unprecedented Nityananda Ashtika, which is the reservoir of rasa, the greatest treasure of the most exalted of Rasika Vaishnavas, and the storehouse of the essence of Bhakti Rasa. This Ashtika is sung in the melody known as Shikarini. Shikarini. Sarachandra Bhantim Spuradamala Kantim Gajagatim Hari Premonmatam Dhrita Paramasatvam Smitamukham Sadhaguna Netram Karakalita Vetram Kalibhidam Bhaja Nityanandam Bhajana Tarukandam Niravadi Bhaja Nityanandam Bhajana Tarukandam Niravadi Rasanamagaram Swajana Jana Sarvaswamatulam Tadiyaika prana paramita vasudha janavapatim Sadha premonmadam paramavaditamandam manasam Bhaja Nityanandam bhajana tarukandam niravadi Nityanandam bhajana tarukandam niravadi Shachishunu pesham nikhila jagadisham sukhamayam Kalau maja jivo dharana karano dama karunam Hare rakyanadva bhava jaladi karvo natiharam Bhaja Nityanandam bhajana tarukandam niravadi भ्रातॄणां कलिकलुषीणां किं नु भवेत् यत प्रायश्चित्तं रचय यदानाय सत इमे व्रजन्ति त्वमित्तं सह भगवता मन्त्रयति यो भज नित्यानन्दं भजन तरुगन्धं निरवधि भज नित्यानन्दं भजन तरुगन्धं निरवधि यतिष्ठं रे बात कुरु हरि हरि ध्यानमनीशम् ततो वह संसारं बुद्धितारनदायो मयि लगे इदं बाहुस्फोटे रतति रतायन्या प्रतिगृहम् भज नित्यानन्दं भजन तरुगन्धं निरवधि भज नित्यानन्दं भजन तरुगन्धं निरवधि बलत्संसारम्भो निधिहरण कुम्भोद्भवमाहो सतं श्रेयसिन्धु नतिकुमुधा बन्धुं समुदितम् कालश्रेणिस्फूर्जितिमिरहर सूर्यप्रभमाहम् भज नित्यानन्दं भजन तरुगन्धं निरवधि भज नित्यानन्दं भजन तरुगन्धं निरवधि नतनं गयातं हरिमनुवदन्तं पतिपति व्रजन्तं पश्यन्तं व्रजन्तं पश्यन्तं स्वमपि न ध्यायन्तं जनगणम् प्रकुर्वन्तं शान्तं सकरुणदृगन्तं प्रकलाना भज नित्यानन्दं भजन तरुगन्धं निरवधि भज नित्यानन्दं भजन तरुगन्धं निरवधि सुभ्रिभ्रानं भ्रातु करसरसीजं कोमलतरम् मिथो वक्त्रलोको चलितप्ररमानन्दहृदयम् भ्रमन्तमधुर्यै अहमद्रन्तं पुरजानान् भज नित्यानन्दं भजन तरुगन्धं निरवधि भज नित्यानन्दं भजन तरुगन्धं निरवधि रसनमाधारं रसिकवरसद्वैष्णवधानम् रसागरं सारं पतिततितरं स्मरन्नाथ परं नित्यानन्दाष्टकमिदमपूर्वं पतति तदङ्घ्रिद्वन्द्वाब्जं स्फुरतो निरतरं तस्य हृदये भज नित्यानन्दं भजन तरुगन्धं निरवधि भज नित्यानन्दं भजन तरुगन्धं निरवधि भज नित्यानन्दं भजन तरुगन्धं निरवधि ओ भज नित्यानन्दं भजन तरुगन्धं निरवधि Jaya Nityananda Ram, Nityananda Ram, Nityananda Ram, Jaya Nityananda Ram. Jaya Nityananda Ram, Jaya Nityananda Ram, Nityananda Ram, Jaya Nityananda Ram. Jaya Parama Karuna Nitya Gaura Chandra, Parama Karuna Nitya Gaura Chandra, Nitya Gaura Chandra, Jaya Parama Karuna. Haribo! Jaya Parama Karuna Nitya Gaura Chandra, Parama Karuna Nitya Gaura Chandra. Jaya Parama Karuna Nitya Gaura Chandra, Parama Karuna Nitya Gaura Chandra. Jai Shri Shri Parama Karuna Nitya Gaura Chandra ki.
Kiva Jaya Jaya Gaura Chandi Arati Kashobha Kiva Jaya Jaya Gaura Chandi Arati Kashobha Janavittatavani Jagamanalobha
Janavittatavani Jagamanalobha
Janavittatavani Jagamanalobha
Janavittatavani Jagamanalobha
Take nitachan Bhami gadadara
Kinitachan Bhami gadadara
Keditachan Bhami gadadara
Kinitachan Bhami gadadara
Nikati Advaitasini Vasha Chachadara
Nikati Advaita Shrini Vasa Chatradara
Nikati Advaitasini Vasha Chachadara
Nikati Advaita Shrini Vasa Chatradara
Vashi Achi Gaurachan Ratna Simasami
Vashi ache gaurachan ratna simhasane
Vashi achi Gurachan Ratna Simasame
Vashi ache gaurachan ratna simhasane
Adati Korin Brahma Adi Devagami
Arati korena brahma
Arati Korena Brahma Adi Devagami Narahari Adi Kori Chamaradulaya
Narahari adhi kore chamaradulaya
Narahari Adi Kori Chamaradulaya
Narahari adhi kore chamaradulaya
Sanjaya Mukunda Basho Gosho Adigaya
Sanjaya mukunda vasu gosharigaya
Sanjaya Mukunda Basho Gosho Adigaya
Sanjaya mukunda vasu gosharigaya
Sanka Baji Ganta Baji Baji Karatala
Shanka bhaje ganta bhaje bhaje kartala
Sanka Baji Ganta Baji Baji Karatala
Shanka bhaje ganta bhaje bhaje kartala
Madhurame Ranga Baji Paramarasala
Madhura mridanga bhaje paramarasala
Madhurame Ranga Baji Paramarasala Madhura
mridanga bhaje paramarasala
Madhu 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 Baji
madhur 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 bhaje
Sanka Baji Ganta Baji Madhu 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 Baji
Shanka bhaje ganta bhaje madhur madhura bhaje
Sanka Baji Ganta Baji Madhu 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 Baji
Shanka bhaje ganta bhaje madhur madhur madhura bhaje
Madhu 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 Baji
madhur 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 Madhura Baje
Madhur Madhur Madhuru Baje
Madhur Madhur Madhura Baje
Hari Bol Hari Bol Gaura Hari Bol
Nitai Gora Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Gora Hari Bol
Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Gaura Hari Bol
Nitai Gora Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Gora Hari Bol
Baho Kote Chandra Jini Vadana Jwala
Baho Koti Chandra Jine Varhana Ujwala
Gala Desi Banamala Kori Jala Mala
Gala Dishe Bhana Mala Kore Jala Mala
Gala Desi Banamala Kori Jala Mala
Gala Dishe Bhana Mala Kore Jala Mala
Shiva Sukha Nadada Primi Garagara
Shiva Sukha Naradha Premi Gadagara
Shiva Sukha Narada Primi Gadagara
Shiva Sukha Naradha Premi Gadagara
Makati Vinorareki Gurara Sampara
Pakati Vinorareke Gorara Sampara
Shiva Jaya Jaya Gora Chandi Arati Kashova
Jaya Jaya Gora Chande Aroti Kashova
Shiva Jaya Jaya Gora Chandi Aroti Kashova
Shiva Jaya Jaya Gora Chande Aroti Kashova
Janavi Tatavani Jagamanalaba
Janavi Tatavani Jagamanalobha
Jagajana Manalobha
Jaga Jaga Manalobha
Gurangi Aruti Kashobha Jagajana Manalobha
Gorange Arotika Shobha Jaga Jaga Manalobha
Gurangi Aruti Kashobha Jagajana Manalobha
Gorange Arotika Shobha Jaga Jaga Manalobha
Gurangi Aruti Kashobha Jagajana Manalobha
Gorange Arati Kashova Jaga Jaga
Jaga jana mana loba.
Jaga jaga mana lobha.
Jaga jana mana loba.
Jaga jaga mana lobha.
Jaya Parama Karuna Jaya Nitai Gora Chandra Jaya Parama Karuna Nitai Gora Chandra.
Parama Karuna Jaya Nitai Gora Chandra Jaya Parama Karuna Jaya Nitai Gora Chandra.
Nitai Gora Chandra Jaya Nitai Gora Chandra. Nitai Gora Chandra. Nitai Gora Chandra.
Jaya Nitai Gora Chandra Jaya Nitai Gora Chandra Jaya Nitai Gora Chandra. Jaya Nitai Gora Chandra.
Jaya Nitai Gora Chandra. Nitai Gora Chandra. Nitai Gora Chandra Jaya Nitai Gora Chandra.
Jaya Nitai Gora Chandra Jaya Nitai Gora Chandra Jaya Nitai Gora Chandra Jaya Nitai Gora Chandra.
Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Tinamini.
Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namini.
Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nivishesha Sunyavadi Pastyatadishatarini.
Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Deveshesha Shunyavadi Pashcharishatarine.
Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda.
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasari Gaura Bhaktavrinda.
Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda.
Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasari Gaura Bhaktavrinda.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Jaya Nitai Gauranga Jaya Nitai Gauranga Nitai Gauranga Jaya Nitai Gauranga
Nitai Gauranga Jaya
Nitai
Jaya Nitai Gauranga Nitai Gauranga
Nitai Gauranga Jaya Nitai Gauranga Nitai Gauranga Jaya Nitai Gauranga
Jaya Nitai Gauranga Jaya Nitai Gauranga Jaya Nitai Gauranga Nitai Gauranga
Jaya Nityananda Ram Jaya Nityananda Ram Nityananda Ram Jaya Nityananda Ram
Jaya Nityananda Ram Jaya Nityananda Ram Jaya Nityananda Ram Jaya Nityananda Ram
Jaya Nityananda Ram Nityananda Ram Nityananda Ram Jaya Nityananda Ram
Jaya Nityananda Ram Jaya Nityananda Ram Jaya Nityananda Ram Jaya Nityananda Ram
Jaya Nityananda Ram Nityananda Ram Nityananda Ram Jaya Nityananda Ram
Jaya Nityananda Ram Jaya Nityananda Ram Jaya Nityananda Ram Jaya Nityananda Ram
Jaya Nitai Gaura Chandra Nitai Gaura Chandra Nitai Gaura Chandra Jaya Nitai Gaura Chandra
Jaya Nitai Gaura Chandra Jaya Nitai Gaura Chandra Jaya Nitai Gaura Chandra Jaya Nitai Gaura Chandra
Nitai Gaura Chandra Jaya Nitai Gaura Chandra Nitai Gaura Chandra Jaya Nitai Gaura Chandra
Nitai Gaura Chandra Jaya Nitai Gaura Chandra Jaya Nitai Gaura Chandra Jaya Nitai Gaura Chandra
Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada
Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada
Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol.
Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol.
Shri Shri Paramakana Nitai Gaura Chandra Ki Jayam Vishnupada Paramahamsa Padvakacharya Astota Star Sri Samadhis Vangri Sri Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jayam Vishnupada Paramahamsa Padvakacharya Astota Star Sri Samadhis Vangri Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Goswami Maharaj Ki Anant Koti Vaishnavindi Ki ISKCON Founder Srila Prabhupada Ki Nama Chula Shri Haridas Thakur Ki Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasari Gaura Bhaktavinda Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gop Gopinata Sham Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai Vrindavan Mathur Dham Ki Jai Mayapur Navadvip Dham Ki Jai Shri Kachakradam Ki Shri Nityananda Ram Ki Glorious appearance of Lord Nityananda Ki Nityananda Trayodasi Ki Jai Shri Shri Paramakana Nitai Gaur The Lordship Shri Shri Paramakana Nitai Gaura Chandra Ki Jai. All glories to the Samdev. All glories to the Samdev devotees. All glories to Shri Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga.
Namaste Narashingaya Praladhaladadaini. Everyone, you can please have your seats if you like. Hiranyakashi Purvaksha Shilatanakana Kalaini Ito Nrisimha Parato Nrisimha Yato Yato Yamitato Nrisimha Bahir Nrisimha Hridaya Nrisimha Narashingamarim Sharanam Prapare Tava Karakamalavare Naka Adbhuta Shringa Dalita Hiranya Kashipu Tanu Bringa Keshavarita Narahare Rupa Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Jaya Nishingare Jaya Nishingare Jaya Narashingare Jaya Nishingare Jaya Narahari Jaya Narahari Jaya Narahari Jaya Narahari श्री नृसिंहदेव भगवान की जय, भक्त शिरोमणि प्रहलाद महाराज की जय।
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna Krishna.
Krishna Krishna.
Hare Hare. Hare Rama. Hare Rama. Rama Rama. Hare Hare. Shri Shri Nityananda Rama Ki. So we'd like to welcome everyone to this our evening session on the appearance day of Shri Shri Nityananda Ram. For those who may not know, Lord Nityananda is the one to our left on the altar, and he is non-different from Lord Balaram. And just to give you an idea who Lord Balaram and Lord Nityananda is, I'm not sure how many of you are familiar with Vedic cosmology, or the way the universe was created, but it is said that Sri Krishna first expanded as Balaram, then Lord Balaram expanded himself about 3 more times. I'm not going to get into the details, I'm trying to keep it quite simple. He expanded himself into 3 more expansions, and from that 3rd expansion comes Mahavishnu, by whose breathing, when he exhales, the universes comes out of his pores, and then when he inhales, the universes again enter into his body. So then we can say, then you can imagine that the entire lifespan of the universes are just contained in one breath of Mahavishnu. So then you can just think, there are 27 kalpas, repetitions of Satya, Treta, Dwapar, and Kali, that make up 1 day of Lord Brahma, right? And the same duration is his night. Now just imagine that Lord Brahma, who lives so long, imagine we're just in Kali Yuga, we live 100 years in Kali Yuga. But this Kali Yuga is just one of the 27 Kali Yugas in Brahma's day. How minute is our lifespan? Then, just imagine how many years, how long Brahma lives for. Then, imagine that Brahma, who lives so long, just lives in 1 breath of Mahavishnu. That's his lifespan, 1 breath of Mahavishnu. And that's it. Now just imagine that Lord Nityananda, his expansion of an expansion of an expansion is that Mahavishnu. That is our Lord Nityananda. And it just so happens that from Mahavishnu there's another detailed description, but from Mahavishnu, the Lord expands as Paramatma within our hearts. So Lord Nityananda, being Lord Balaram, he represents Guru Tattva, or the Supreme Guru, the original Guru, and he is also the Supreme Personality of Sarvator Godhead. So the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Chaitanya, and the Supreme Personality of Sarvator Godhead, Lord Nityananda, are present within our hearts. If we just look, we can find them. So on today, Lord Nityananda's appearance, we pray that not only we want to celebrate the appearance of the Lord who appeared many, many years ago, over 500 years ago, but we'd also pray that Lord Nityananda appears within our hearts and give us darshan, not just appear there, but allow us the opportunity, the good fortune to see him within our hearts. And so in that mood, we'll sing one bhajan. It's called Manaha Shiksha, Teachings to the Mind, from a songbook called Prarthana, written by Srila Narottam Das Thakur. We'll read the purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada.
The purport goes as follows. This is a very nice song sung by Narottam Das Thakur. He advises that Nitai Pada, the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda, Kamala means lotus, and Pada means feet, are a shelter where one will get the soothing moonlight, not only of one, but of millions of moons. We can just imagine the aggregate total value of the soothing shine of millions of moons. In this material world, Jagat, which is progressing toward hell, there's always a blazing fire, and everyone is struggling hard without finding peace. Therefore, if the world wants to have real peace, it should take shelter under the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda, which are cooling like the shining of a million moons. Juraya means relief. If one actually wants relief from the struggle of existence and actually wants to extinguish the blazing fire of material pangs, Narottam Das Thakur advises, quote, "Please take shelter of Lord Nityananda," unquote. What will be the result of accepting the shelter of the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda? He says, "Hino nitai bine bhai," unless one takes shelter under the shade of the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda, Radha Krishna paite nai. It will be very difficult for him to approach Radha Krishna. The aim of this Krishna consciousness movement is to enable us to approach Radha Krishna and associate with the Supreme Lord in his sublime pleasure dance. Narottam Das Thakur advises that if one actually wants to enter into the dancing party of Radha Krishna, he must accept the shelter of the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda. Then he says, "Se sambandha nahi." Sambandha means connection or contact. Anyone who has not contacted a relationship with Nityananda is understood to have spoiled his human birth. In another song also, Narottam Das says, "Hari Hari Bifale Janama Ganainu." Anyone who does not approach Radha Krishna through a relationship with Nityananda has uselessly spoiled his life. Brita means useless, Janma means life, Tar means his, and Sambandha means relationship. Anyone who does not make a relationship with Nityananda is simply spoiling the boon of his human form of life. Why is he spoiling it? Se pashu borodhurachar. Se means that. Pashu means animal, and durachar means misbehaved or the most misbehaved. Without elevation to Krishna consciousness through the mercy of Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda, life is simply spoiled in the animal propensities of sense gratification. Narottam Das says that ordinary animals can be tamed, but when a human being is animalistic, having only animal propensities, he is most horrible, for he cannot be tamed. Ordinary cats and dogs, or even a tiger, can be tamed, but when a human being goes out of his way and neglects to take to the human activity of Krishna consciousness, his higher intelligence will simply be misused for animal propensities. and it is very difficult to tame him. The enactment of state laws cannot make a thief an honest man, because his heart is polluted. He cannot be tamed. Every man sees that a person who commits criminal offenses is punished by the government, and also in scriptural injunctions, punishment in hell is mentioned. But despite hearing from scripture and seeing the action of the state laws, the demoniac cannot be tamed. What are they doing? Nitai na bolilo muke. Since they do not know who Nityananda is, they never say the names of Lord Nityananda and Lord Chaitanya. Majilo samsara suke. Majilo means becomes absorbed. They become absorbed in so-called material enjoyment. They don't care who Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda are, and therefore they go deep down into material existence. Vidya kule ki koribe tar. If one has no connection with Nityananda, and if he does not come to Krishna consciousness, his vidya, or his so-called academic education, and kula, birth in a high family or great nation, will not protect him. Regardless of whether one is born in a very big family or nation, or has a very advanced academic education, at the time of death, nature's law will act. His work will be finished, and he will get another body according to that work. Why are these human animals acting in this way? Ahankare mata hoya nitai para pasariya. They have become maddened by a false concept of body life, and thus they have forgotten their eternal relationship with Nityananda. Asatyere satyakori mani. Such forgetful persons accept the illusory energy as factual. Asatyere refers to that which is not a fact, or in other words, Maya. Maya means that which has no existence but is a temporary illusion only. Persons who have no contact with Nityananda accept this illusory body as factual. Narottam Das Thakur then says, Nitair karuna habe braje radha krishna pabe. If you actually want to approach the association of Radha Krishna, you must achieve the mercy of Lord Nityananda first. When he is merciful toward you, then you will be able to approach Radha Krishna. Daro nitai charna dukani. Narottam Das advises that one firmly catch hold the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda. Then again he says, Nitai charna satya. One should not misunderstand and think that as he has caught hold of Maya, similarly the lotus feet of Nityananda may also be something like that, Maya or illusion. Therefore Narottam Das confirms, Nitai charna satya. The lotus feet of Nityananda are not illusion, they are a fact. Tahara sevaka nitya. And one who engages in the transcendental love and service of Nityananda is also transcendental. If one engages in the transcendental love and service of Nityananda in Krishna consciousness, he immediately achieves his transcendental position on the spiritual platform, which is eternal and blissful. Therefore, he advises, Nitai pada sada kodo asha. Always try to catch the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda. Narottama Bodo Duki. Narottam Das Thakur, the Acharya, is taking the position that he is very unhappy. Actually, he is representing ourselves. He says, quote, My dear Lord, I am very unhappy. Nitai moro koro suki. Therefore, I am praying to Lord Nityananda to make me happy. Rako ranga charanira pasha. Please keep me in a corner of your lotus feet. Shri Nityananda Ram ki
Jai. So we can all, before we sing the bhajan, we can all repeat the first line, the first and second line, so that when we're ready to chorus, we can all sing it together. So you can please repeat after me. Nitai pada
Nitai para
kamala
Kamala
koti chandra
Koti Chandra
sushitala
Shushitala
jechayai
Jechayai
jagata
Jagata
jurai.
Jurai
So nitai pada kamala
Nitai para Kamala
koti chandra sushitala
Koti Chandra Sushitala
jechayai
Jechayai
jagata jurai.
Jagata Jurai
Nitai pada kamala koti chandra sushitala jechayai jagata jurai.
Nitai para Kamala Koti Chandra Sushitala
jechayai jagata jurai. Nitai pada kamala koti chandra sushitala jechayai jagata jurai.
Nitai para Kamala Koti Chandra Sushitala Jechayai Jagata Jurai
Heno nitai bine bhai Radha Krishna pai tena dridha kore dharo nitai bhai Heno nitai bine
Radha Krishna Paidena Dridha Kore
dharo nitai So I have a humble request of everyone. Please clap your hands. Nitai pada kamala koti chandra sushitala jechayai jagata jurai.
Nitai para Kamala Koti Chandra Sushitala Jechayai Jagata Jurai
Se sambandha nahi jai bhrita janma gelota सुखे विद्याकुले खिकोरि वेता
निताय न भूलिरो मोके माझियो संसार दुखे विद्या कुले के दुईवे ता
निताय पद कमला कोटि चंद्र सुशीतला जे छाया जगत जुड़ा निताय पद कमला
कोटि चंद्र सुशीतला
जे छाया जगत अहंकारे मत होइया निताय पद पासरिया सातरे सत्य कोरी माने अहंकारे मत होइया निताय पद
पासरिया असत्य सत्य कोरी माने
नितायेर करुणा होवे भजे राधा कृष्ण पावे धारो निताय चरण दुखानी निताय करुणा होवे ब्रजे राधा
कृष्ण पावे
धारो निताय
चरण दुकाने
निताय पद कमला कोटि चंद्र सुशीतला जे छाया जगत जुड़ा निताय पद कमला
कोटि चंद्र सुशीतला जे छाया जगत जुड़ा
नितायेर चरण साचा कहाँ से बखनिचा निताय पद सदा खोरो आशा कहाँ से बखनिचा निताय पद सदा खोरो आशा Kamala Koti Chandra Sushitala Chaya Jagata Jura Nitai Par Kamala Koti Chandra Sushitala Nitai Pada Kamala Koti Chandra Sushitala Chaya Jagata Jura Nitai Pada Kamala Koti Chandra Sushitala Chaya Jagata Jura Shri Nityananda Balarama Ki Jai.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Shri Nityananda Ram Ki. Shri Nityananda Ram Ki. So I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome each and every one of you once again for the glorious celebration, the appearance of Lord Nityananda. Maybe Hari Kirtan and Sachi Sutta and others can probably do a calculation to tell us how many years, 500 plus years since Lord Nityananda would have. To be exact, Sachi Sutta is saying 549 years, which means this year we'll be celebrating next month 537 years of Gauranga Mahaprabhu's appearance, because Lord Nityananda appeared 12 years before Lord Chaitanya would have appeared. The incarnation of Lord Nityananda is very special, just like the incarnation of Lord Nityananda, Lord Chaitanya, Lord Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is also special, but special in a hidden form, in a hidden way. The entire world knows about the advent of Krishna or Rama on Ramayana, Bhagavad Gita, Krishna Leela, or Mahabharata, Srimad Bhagavad Puran. But only a handful of persons in the world, before Prabhupada came to the West, knows about the advent of Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda. And there are many reasons for that, but the main reason is Kali Yuga is the age, this present age that we are living, when you will have so many imitators, so many pseudo persons who will be claiming to be an incarnation of God. It is known even in Prabhupada time, 50 years, 60 years ago, almost on every street in India, and still goes on today, that every so often someone pops up calling themselves incarnation of God, or that their followers are calling them incarnation of God. So when the real incarnation of God comes, he comes in the form of the Lord's devotee. That is Gauranga Mahaprabhu, that is Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Lord Nityananda. They did not proclaim themselves as incarnations of God or Krishna. Therefore they are called hidden incarnation. And even if any one of us follow carefully, well, not so carefully, but just maybe lightly have a little glimpse of Christianity, you will hear that they have this understanding that, you know, he will come again, but that he will come like a thief in the dark. They are understanding that he will come again, Christ will come again, but that he will come like a thief in the dark. How will they recognize it? How will the world recognize it? So if a thief comes in the dark and you're dead asleep, you get it, right? You cannot recognize him. You cannot see his shadow even. So when the Lord comes like a thief in the dark, and we remain in the dense darkness of ignorance, it is almost impossible for the world to recognize him. It is almost impossible for the world to recognize him. And that's the incarnation of Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda. They came in that mood. they came as devotees of Krishna. You see, Gauranga Mahaprabhu, if someone would have said to him or say anything, his devotees, his followers, anything to the effect that he was Krishna or that he was Ram or that he was incarnation of God, he would have blocked his ears and run away from that spot. That's how convinced and how much the Lord would have exemplified that Kali Yuga is known. The age of Kali Yuga, according to Vedic texts, it is known, or the Lord is called Tri Yuga. Tri Yuga means he only comes in 3 yugas, in 3 ages: Satya, Treta, and Dwapar. It is known in Vedic texts. All over it is mentioned. You can study it, you can turn and twist all the pages, and you will see it is mentioned that the Lord is called Tri Yuga, that he comes in Satya Yuga, Treta, and Dwapar Yuga. Generally, the Lord does not come in Kali Yuga. He comes at the end of Kali Yuga as Kalki, which will mark the beginning, the end of Kali Yuga and the beginning of the new age, Satya Yuga. And someone wants to argue how the transition will take place from all the agony and pain and suffering and all the bad omen and all these things, and persons will be like 15 to 18 inches tall, and how this whole how it will evolve from that to the golden age, Satya Yuga. I understand it in a very simple way. I may have a terrible, terrible day today, or any days in my life, very hellish, very abominable. Think of all the bad things that can happen to me. But I sleep, and I wake up tomorrow morning, and it's completely a new day, like it never happened. It is completely a new day, like it never happened. So when the Lord will come at the end of Kali Yuga as Kalki, by his miracle, by his mercy, by his mystic power, it will evolve, it will reinstate it, the age of Satya. So yes, hidden incarnation, Sri Nityananda Ram and Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu. How are we to recognize him? We need some expert individuals who can really and truly, or who really and truly knows the art of recognizing a thief in the dark. And when those individuals reveal it to us, when they come and tell us, Prabhu, hey, you know what? It was such and such individual. I saw him. I studied it. I recognized them. Only then, based on those individuals, those expert individuals, that we will be able to recognize. Who are those expert individuals? The spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada, the Guru. That when the Lord reveals to the spiritual master, pure devotee, Guru, then the Guru comes, Om Jnana Timidandasya Jnanan Jana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruvai Namaha. He opens our eyes with a torch of knowledge from the darkness of ignorance to light. How it happens? Again, night and day. When the sun rise in the morning, it dissipates the darkness of ignorance or the darkness of this world. And again, we can see. We can recognize things. We can, move around. But if it's all pitch dark, and we cannot even see ourselves, then how is it? We need someone with a torchlight to show us the way. It can be, from here to right there. But if it is really pitch dark, there is no way that, Jai Shri Shri Paramakanda Nitai Gaura Chanda Ki. If it is pitch dark, there is no way that you'll be so scared. You don't know what you will step on. You don't know what you will encounter. So you wouldn't even want to move from this spot. Someone flash a light and you're sure that it is okay for you to go there, then you will move. So the spiritual master comes and he points the way. And he says, Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda, they are none other than Krishna and Balaram. They are none other than Rama and Lakshmana. They are the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They came in the age of Kali Yuga to teach love of God, to distribute love of God. And those fortunate individuals. What is the verse from Srimad Bhagavatam that says, intelligent person in the age of Kali take up congregational chanting to worship? Krishna Varnam Tusa Krishnam Sango Pangasra Pasharam Yajnai Sankirtan Praya Yajantihi Sumedasa Yajantihi Sumedasa Yajantihi Sumedasa. Persons with sufficient intelligence in the age of Kali shall take up a congregational chanting to worship the incarnation of God. Although his complexion is not blackish, he is Krishna himself, and he is accompanied by his confidential devotees. See, when Gauranga Mahaprabhu came, Lord Nityananda came as elder brother, as was promised. They made a deal in Ram Leela. You know that Lakshmana made a deal with Lord Ramachandra that never again I will come as younger brother. You know that? You heard that before? Yes or no? Huh? Uncle Suki, you heard that before? Yes. Anybody knows why? Why he made that deal or take that vow or make that decision that he will never come as, Chota, younger brother again. So elder brother means the younger brother have to hear always hear the elder brother. Younger brother means you have to hear and follow the elder brother. So, like Hari Kirtan is saying, he couldn't have bear to endure the pain, the suffering that he had to go through, seeing Lord Ramachandra laying on the ground while he was in exile for 14 years. He had it his way, it would have been different. And he is Ananta Shesha, he is Sankarshan, he is everything in the service of Lord Vishnu or Krishna. So if we should put ourselves really and truly in the servant camp, what it really means to please the Master, if we really have to satisfy and please the Master. But we have to, or someone that we really love, and we have to endure all that to see that he's sleeping on the bare ground, in the open sky, or in the jungle, or here, there, and you have to walk, in bushes, and there's thorn and all that. Just try to see and understand, or imagine the amount of suffering, the amount of pain that we would have felt. So many of us saw Ramayana, and we saw and we read of it, the experiences that Lakshmana had to go through. So he said, I'm not coming as younger brother anymore. Just like in Krishna Leela, he came as Dauji, elder brother. Of course, Krishna is clever, but still you saw in many of the pastime, Krishna apparently had to hear Balaram. And again in the pastime of Lord Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda, this time he came 12 years before. So he was really, elder brother. He was 12 years older. But then you still see Suno Suno Nityananda Suno Haridas. Who is giving the instruction? Lord Chaitanya say, come here Nityananda, come here Haridas. In Vedic culture, they call you like this. In Western culture, they call like this. This means, you want to fight. When you want to fight with someone, then you call them like this. But, when you really want to call someone to have some nice discussion, or, then you, please come. Please come. So, who is calling the shots still? Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu called. Suno Suno Nityananda Suno Haridas Sarvasya Prachara Hoy. And I can't remember the other part of the line, but he said, listen, listen, listen Haridas, listen Nityananda. So Haridas was older than Nityananda, so he addressed Srila Haridas Thakur first. And he gave the order. Prati dware dware giya, and he went on to say, go from door to door and teach them Krishna Mata, Krishna Prita, Krishna Dana Pran, Bolo Krishna Brajo Krishna, Koro Krishna Siksha. He said to Nityananda and Haridas, this is my command, this is my instruction, this is my order. Go from door to door and teach everyone, beg everyone, Bolo Krishna, chant Krishna, Brajo Krishna, worship Krishna, Krishna Mata, Krishna Pita, Krishna Dana Pran, Krishna is your mother, Krishna is your father. Very simple, very, very basic, he said. Krishna is your mother, Krishna is your father, and Krishna Dana Pran. Krishna is a treasure. Prana. Krishna is the treasure of your life. This is where it come back to this bhajan that we just sang. Very beautiful bhajan that they Nitai Pada Kamala Koti Chandra Susitala. That the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda is as schooling as not one moon. You go under the full moon. Wednesday will be full moon, so you can try it. Especially if you're at Uncle Roop's yard. You get like a full-blown moonlight on your head. Or you can go on your roof or terrace or something like that. But be in the open somewhere. I had experience as a little boy growing up in Mahaika Creek, Cane Grove, being in the field And there were trees lining the field, the dam right away around. Nice mango, coconut trees and jamun and all that trees. And the sky is clear. You know, there was no clouds. The moon was shining. I had that experience. So one moon is described, one full moon is described as being so cooling. So amazing experience to be in a cooling shade of the moonlight. Unlike the sunlight, midday, 1, 2 o'clock sun. Now imagine 100 moon. Then imagine 1,000 full moon. And now imagine millions of full moons. And then try to imagine now you're under unlimited amount of full moons. How cooling that will be. Then we can have a glimpse of how cooling is the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda. So Srila Prabhupada very nicely, a few of the bhajan in the Vaishnava songbook that Prabhupada gave purport to, a few of the bhajans, he gave his Bhaktivedanta explanation or purport. This is one of them. He gave to Paramakarna. He gave to Gauranga Bolete Habe Pulaka Sharira. He gave purport to Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu. Yeah, all these bhajans, these few bhajans, Prabhupada gave purport to. And here Prabhupada is saying, Kamala means lotus, like we know Kamalgata. Kamala means lotus, and Pada means feet. Are the shelter where one will get the soothing moonlight, not only of one, but of millions of moons. Can we just imagine the aggregate total value of soothing shine of millions of moons in this material world? And this is the part that I want us to take note of. This part here is very, very special, because all of us are looking for peace. Everyone wants peace in this world. So Prabhupada said, in this material world, Jagat, you put in bracket Jagat, which is progressing towards hell, there is always a blazing fire. The blazing fire of material existence that is scorching everyone. Everyone is feeling the heat of material existence. It can be who? Everyone. Just like pandemic comes, and without any exception, any and everyone, entire world are feeling the blazing fire of coronavirus. You cannot do as you like. We cannot go as we like. You know, people wants to go on vacation, wants to go here, there, everywhere. You know, this last 2 weeks I am here at the temple, and last few evenings I was observing, walking and chanting on the roof, I was observing how busy the road get. Even last evening was typical. So I was just thinking back that only a few days ago they lift the curfew, and it looked like people go crazy. It is Sunday, so you're thinking, oh, where people are going on Sunday evening? The whole junction here is like packed with vehicle, people going and coming, people go. So everyone wants to escape. Everyone wants to get away. Everyone wants to hide. But there is no escape. No matter what they do, there is no escape. And everyone is struggling hard without finding peace. Therefore, if the world wants to have real peace, it should take shelter under the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda, which are cooling like the shining of a million moons. And Prabhupada said, of a million moons. Juraya means relief. If one actually wants relief from the struggle of existence and actually wants to extinguish the blazing fire of material pangs, Hmm. 10 million only. Yes. So don't get sidetracked with Hari and his moon, but listen to this. If one actually wants relief from the struggle of existence and actually wants to extinguish the blazing fire of material pangs, Narottama Das Thakur advises, please caught hold of the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda and never lose. Never let go. Shri Nityananda Ram Ki, Shri Nityananda Ram Ki. Any question? Any question anyone have? On the incarnation of Lord Nityananda, anything that you like to know about Lord? There are many, many pastimes. We don't intend to go on too long tonight. We had a full day from Mangalarti, Guru Puja, greeting the deities at 8:30, then 10:30 to 12:30 this morning, and again we are here this evening. So we do not want to go on much longer, but if there is any quick question that you like to hear anything about Lord Nityananda, here's your opportunity. Yes, Mr. Vicky? What do you say? I think I probably will qualify the question. I think your question is that why Lord Nityananda is more compassionate than Lord Chaitanya, if I understand it clearly. Because that's how it is, that Lord Nityananda is described as being more compassionate than even Lord Shri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He is Jagat Guru. He is the original spiritual master. He is Sankarshan. He is the first expansion of the Supreme Lord. When Krishna expanded himself into Balaram, then Balaram expanded himself, and from Balaram all the different expansion comes, and he is described as the original Guru, the original spiritual master. So the Guru is always much more compassion, much more mercy given, mercifully disposed. Just like in the pastime of Jagai and Madai, the Supreme Lord, Sri Krishna, in the form of Gauranga Mahaprabhu, invoked Sudarshan Chakra. He was ready to behead Jagai and Madai. But Lord Nityananda grabbed hold of the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya and said, "No, you freed him." And I'm just summarizing quickly, and he exemplified the highest, even though they had burst his head with the earthen pot, burst the head of, hit Lord Nityananda on his forehead, and burst it, and blood was oozing out. Still, while blood was flowing out of his forehead, his compassion, his mercy on the conditioned souls paralyzes Sudarshan Chakra from beheading Jagai and Madai. So that if, this is the mercy of Lord Nityananda in the age of Kali, that if you have to behead, if you have to kill Jagai and Madai, you might as well have to kill all the residents, the inhabitants of Kali Yuga. All of us would have wiped out. But he said, "My dear Lord, your incarnation in the age of Kali is compassion, is to destroy the bad qualities from within, not to kill as you kill demons in previous ages, not to kill the physical body, but to destroy the demonic quality from within." So in this way, there are many pastimes, many stories, how Lord Nityananda exemplified. He will roll on the ground with tears in his eyes. He will go to the householders and he will reach the people in the street and he will roll on the ground. He'll put straw between his teeth and, he will come to you with tears in his eyes. "My dear brother, my dear sisters, my dear friend, Bolo Krishna, Brajo Krishna, Koro Krishna Siksha. Krishna is your mother, Krishna is your father, and Krishna is the treasure of your life." Any other quick question? So thank you very much. We'll have a little concluding kirtan for this evening session. Shri Nityananda Ram Ki Jai.
Hare Krishna. So this kirtan we dedicate it to His Grace Lochan Das Thakur Prabhu, and especially since today is the appearance of Lord Sri Nityananda Prabhu, we pray that Lord Nityananda grants him eternal service at His lotus feet, wherever he may be, whether he is engaging in the Lord's service in this world or eternally with the Lord in the spiritual world, wherever he may be, that he be kept always at the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda. So I'd like to read a few lines, comments made by our GBC, His Grace Virbahu Maharaj, the spiritual, who also happens to be the spiritual master of His Grace Lochan Das Thakur Prabhu. Actually, when Lochan Das Thakur Prabhu got initiation, It was a very special one, and it was late in the night after a lot of meetings. If anyone knows His Grace Guru Bahu Maharaj, we know how his schedule can be. Lochan Das Thakur Prabhu got his initiation late in the night from Guru Maharaj, in his room at the Crane Temple, and the entire mood and the way he got initiation was extremely special. And I think that His Grace Lochan Das Thakur Prabhu, well, not that I know he has a special place in the heart of his spiritual master. And you'll understand this from the comment that Guru Maharaj made. So after Lochan Das Thakur Prabhu passed away, we sent a message to Guru Maharaj, and he said, Hare Krishna, thank you for the immediacy of the message. The pain of his departure is somewhat mitigated by his being a Vaishnava at the time he left. That is the guarantee of his most auspicious destination in the service of Sri Sri Gaur Nitai by the grace of Srila Nityananda Prabhu on the eve of his appearance day. Doubly auspicious departure on the holy appearance day of Lord Varaha, which was yesterday, by whose grace and mercy Lochan Das Thakur Prabhu has been lifted out to his next service at the lotus feet of the Lord. Shri Vaishnav Thakur ki Jai. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everyone together. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Jaya Nityananda Ram, Jaya Nityananda Ram, Nityananda Ram, Jaya 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 Parama Karuna, Nitai Gaur Chandra, Shri Shri Nityananda Ram ki
Jai.
Shri Shri Parama Karuna Nitai Gaura Chandra ki
Jai.
Shri Prabhupada
Hare ki Jai. Hare Krishna. So as we conclude this evening's program in observing Sri Nityananda Trayodasi, we want to thank each and every one of you who would have participated throughout the course of the day, beginning from a Mangal Artik, and those of you who are here later in the day. And we also want to say a big thank you to everyone who would have joined on the virtual platforms, Zoom, Facebook Live, YouTube. It has been great to have your association, and we also want to thank those of you who are here with us this evening. So the many devotees, well-wishers, friends who would have assisted in sponsoring and contributing to the program, contributing to the festival, we want to thank you. We want to thank those who would have assisted in bringing flowers, fruits, vegetables, and other groceries, boga. So thank you all very much. And there is a wonderful, sumptuous feast, dinner is there for everyone. So please take to your fullest satisfaction before you go.